Hello there, this is Mrs. Hogue with a lesson on how to create a clipping mask in Adobe Photoshop. What exactly is a clipping mask? A clipping mask is used often in the advertisement field. It's when you place an image inside text. For instance, on the back of this Wheat Thins box, you'll notice they placed an image inside their text. Do what you do with whole grain. Clipping masks are often used for postcards. This is one for Nashville. Notice there's a different picture inside each letter. There's also font effects applied that we've done in the past, a black stroke and 3D. So our goal today is going to create our own clipping mask using Adobe Photoshop. The requirements for this clipping mask are to incorporate at least 5 different characters. That can be letters and numbers. Inside each character you'll have different pictures, again at least 5 different ones. Apply some type of font effect to your characters, and then incorporate a background image. So here's some examples students have done in the past. This one was a sports theme. Notice how they used a background image. On this, they lowered the opacity of the background image. We've also done that in the past, and I'll show you again how to do that. And the reason the opacity was lowered in the background image on this one is so you could see the letters a little bit better. They also used a black stroke around their letters as a font effect. This theme was social media, incorporating a different image of different types of social media inside their letters, and using a black font effect on this one. Here's a soccer team. On this one, they have used a stroke as their font effect. However, they used a different color for each stroke. Blue and red as the team colors made it a lot more colorful. And they incorporated a different image for each letter on this one. And then just a simple word such as bouncy balls can be used. They put a different type of ball inside each letter. I would probably have lowered the opacity on this one on the background image just so you could see those letters pop out a little bit more. So let's go ahead and get started in Photoshop. We're going to do a new project, and we're going to call it Clipping Mask. Place your name after that, your last name. Instead of pixels, we're going to use inches. And I'm going to go ahead and make mine a little wider than I am higher, just because my words going across might be a little bit longer. But you can place whatever size there you see fit for your project. We're going to start out with typing the word that we want to use with our type tool that we've used in the past. I'm going to do the horizontal. And it's important that you have a wide type of font here, not a skinny one, because you want to see that image inside your letter. So I'm going to pick Black Oak Standard for my font type. And make sure your font color is black. And I'm just going to type the word TJ. Now, in order to have one picture inside each letter, a different picture inside each letter, you need to have each letter on its own layer. So just type one letter only, commit it, and you'll notice I just have the letter T on my layer. Then I want a second letter with, a second layer with the next letter. Okay, and then you just keep going. Don't worry about the placement quite yet. You can always move that around. So I have all the letters that I need. Each one has its own layer. I'm going to use the Move tool to place them. And you can do that diagonal. You can do that how you want. I'm just going to lay mine straight for now. Maybe I'll go a little diagonal on the T part. Okay, so get those arranged how you want. And then you can start with your images. I'm going to start with my first letter T, and I'm going to go to Google Images. And I'm going to make sure I type in Council Bluffs on Thomas Jefferson just so I know that I'm getting our town instead of somewhere else, since there's a lot of Thomas Jeffersons. I'm going to start out with the mascot. And like we've done in our other images, we're going to save them in our picture folder. Go ahead and create a new folder called Clipping Mask. And save your images right in that folder. You may need them later, so it's important you save them. Okay, I'm going to do 2, and then I'm going to do a background image. I think I'm going to use the building as the background image. I'm just going to call that building. And then let's see, how about a football team and another one? You can use what you want there. Now, I would want to get 6 plus a background image, but I'm going to move forward and just do 2 of them for you. I'm on my first letter T on the layer, so I know I have this selected. I'm going to open up. What do I want in that letter T? I'm going to pick the mascot. I'm going to show both artboards like we've done in the past, and then I'm just going to move it over and let go of my mouse to drop it, just like we've done on our other projects. I want to make sure that the mascot or whatever image you're using is on top of the letter. And then you need to size it down, edit, transform, scale like we've done many times. Size it down to fit over that letter T, how you want it. You can always change the picture later. Making sure the picture is on top, I'm going to go over to my layers and right in between them, hold down the Alt key. When I do that, the icon changes. When it changes, click, and your image is inside your letter there. Now I can move the image how I want it. Now notice I left the white background. I really don't want that. What can we use? Like we've done in the past, the magic wand. I'm going to click on that white that I don't want and delete it. Control D will deselect. Going back to my move tool, and then I can put that mascot how I want it in the letter T. Okay, so my T is done. I'm going to go on to my E. I'm going to choose the football. Again, show both screens. Move it over and drop it. Close that out. You don't need that anymore. Place it over the E. I have to size this one down quite a bit. Edit, transform, scale. Okay, and I'm going to make sure it's in that letter. Commit it. Now, one thing, it is not on top. So I'm going to move the layer so it's on top of the E. Okay, and then I'm going to do the Alt, look for that icon and click. Okay, and that one's done. You just keep going till all your letters are done. Now, to apply your font effect, you want to be on the letter layer, and then just hit your FX like we've done in the past. On this one, I'm going to do a stroke, and I'm going to pick a white stroke. Okay, you can decide on the size there. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on my background picture and incorporate the background image, which was the building. Show both screens. Drag it over and drop it. Again, I'm going to have to size this, edit, transform, scale. Okay, and this is where you would apply your opacity. If you can't see it on my screen, it's over to the right. We have used it before. I'm going to lower down the opacity so I can see my letters better. Now, if I don't like the white stroke, I can change it. Okay, so just keep going till you have all your letters done. This shouldn't take longer than today's class period to get this done. and then we'll share at the end as a class.